What if the sudden death of Nathi Mthethwa in Paris, the pause of the Madlanga Commission, and Julius Malema's shocking court verdict aren't random at all? In today's video, we look at the strange timing of these events and how they might reveal a bigger power struggle playing out behind the scenes. Stay with me until the end, because the payoff is understanding who really benefits when chaos takes over South Africa's headlines. A former minister, a diplomat, a man who once held the keys to South Africa's security establishment, dead in a Paris hotel room. Nathi Mthethwa's passing has sent shockwaves through South Africa's political and diplomatic circles, not only because of who he was, but because of how and when it happened. By every measure, being an ambassador to France is a dream posting. It's a prestigious position, a comfortable life in one of the world's most beautiful cities, and a career reward often reserved for political heavyweights. That's why his sudden death, whether described as a fall, a jump, or something else entirely, doesn't sit right with many observers. Nobody just gives up such a role.
Well, we know that the phone was found prior to Nathi Mthethwa being discovered in this hotel, and also prior, even I think, to the police investigation getting underway. I mean, the real question now about that timeline is, given that we know that he checked into this hotel late in the evening on Monday, but that his body was not discovered until after 11 o'clock in the morning on Tuesday, did he spend all of his time in this hotel? How did he spend the night? Was there any evidence in the room that he'd engaged, that he'd slept through the night and then decided to end his own life? Was he up all night trying to create that opening that would be sufficiently large in the window for him to go ahead and take his own life? We don't know any of the answers to that. Now, a French magistrate visited this hotel yesterday and started gathering evidence relating to how Nathi Mthethwa spent his final hours. It's not necessarily unusual for an ambassador to head off to an event without vast amounts of security. I mean, you know, as you know, I've been based in various locations for many years, Iman, and have known many South African ambassadors, and they won't necessarily always show up to a routine diplomatic event or social engagement with vast amounts of staff accompanying them. So not entirely unusual that he necessarily would have said to his wife that he was heading off to that cocktail party at around 4:30 in the afternoon. But there will be, of course, questions that both the authorities here and DIRCO will want to be asking South African embassy staff here. We have not been able to reach any of them. And one of the avenues of investigation that the authorities here will want to pursue is whether there was any connection between Nathi Mthethwa's decision apparently to take his own life and that testimony just a few days ago at the Madlanga Commission of Inquiry that at least suggested that he might be called as a witness to answer allegations that were lobbed in his direction, that when he was Jacob Zuma's Minister of Police, he engaged in political interference, acts of political interference, that he would have had those allegations the right to reply to and the right to answer at the Commission of Inquiry. So I think the authorities both here and in South Africa will be keen to understand what contributed to a situation in which Ambassador Mthethwa decided to end his life at this hotel in the French capital.
And when it happens during one of the most politically charged moments in South Africa's recent memory, it's difficult not to wonder if something deeper is unfolding. The timing is what truly unsettles people. As the country's attention was fixed on the Madlanga Commission, an inquiry probing alleged corruption and manipulation inside law enforcement and intelligence, Mthethwa's death landed like a thunderclap.
I received a phone call from the Minister of Police, Nathi Mthethwa. Commissioners. I went to his residence in Waterkloof. And when I arrived there, the Inspector General is sitting on one side of the table, Mr. Mthethwa is sitting on the other side of the table. The Minister says to me that I forced the Inspector General of Intelligence to write the letter that says, Mkhwebi is wrong, this matter must go to court. She said, I forced her. Then I told her, I said, no, Minister, Advocate Khateb is an old woman. She's an advocate. How can I point a gun at her and force her to write a letter? Besides, when this letter was written in her office, and she actually is not the author of the letter. The author of the letter is Advocate J. Governor, who is an experienced prosecutor person who's working in that office. She's the one that drafted the letter, not you, not the Inspector General of Intelligence. The minister didn't want to hear any of that. A simple say, must stop prosecuting Mdluli, or must stop disciplinary case against Mdluli. Now, if we talk about political interference, that was the worst I've ever experienced. At that time, Commissioner, I come from the specialized operation. The only thing I know is to chase criminals. And I'm promoted to become the acting National Commissioner, and I'm confronted with this in front of me. And I said, but this is not what I signed for when I joined the police. This can't be right. The minister can't give me these instructions. Then I said to the minister, maybe you brought me into this position and you thought you were going to use me as a pawn because perhaps of my age or whatever, but you are wrong. I'm not going to do that. If you want me to stop charging Mdluli, you must put it in black and white. And then the minister said, no, Inspector General, you must give something in writing to the National Commission to stop this investigation. Inspector General said, no, come with me to my office so I can give you a letter.
In the light of...
The commission had been making progress, cutting closer to the so-called Big Five cartel said to wield influence across government and business. And just as its momentum built, its proceedings were abruptly paused after Lieutenant General Dumisani Khumalo, a key figure, reportedly fell ill. Two major developments, both unexpected, within days of each other. Coincidence? Some think not. At the same time, the country's political landscape was shaken by another headline: Julius Malema's conviction in a long-running firearm case. The judgment came with impeccable timing, conveniently crowding the airwaves and social media timelines. The ruling may yet be overturned on appeal, but in the short term, it has reignited political polarization. Malema's supporters see persecution, his critics see justice served. Yet what both sides can agree on is that the spectacle distracts, perhaps conveniently, from other unfolding truths. Add to this the Special Investigating Unit's corruption revelations at Tembisa Hospital earlier in the week, and you get a perfect storm of political noise. Each story is explosive in its own right, but together they create a fog, a cloud thick enough to obscure the work of the Madlanga Commission and to delay the public's focus on who may be pulling strings behind the scenes. In South Africa, we've seen this playbook before. When investigations start scraping at power, chaos suddenly follows. People fall ill, stories leak, scandals erupt. It's the art of distraction, political theater at its most dangerous. Whether Mthethwa's death fits into that pattern remains to be seen, but it has certainly deepened the sense that something is being hidden in plain sight. Even the judiciary isn't immune to this atmosphere. The Malema judgment could reshape South African politics, but it could also backfire. As history has shown, leaders prosecuted under controversial circumstances often emerge stronger. What looks like a downfall can easily become a rallying cry. The same was true for Kwame Nkrumah, who rose from imprisonment to lead a nation. The EFF may find new energy in adversity, and Malema himself could transform this legal setback into a political weapon. But amid all the noise, the danger lies in losing focus. The real story isn't about one man's death, another man's conviction, or a bureaucrat's sudden illness. It's about a system being tested. It's about whether South Africa's institutions can withstand the pressure of exposure. The Madlanga Commission's work, if it continues unhindered, could reveal just how deep the networks of corruption go. Still, forces are at play to derail it. Already there are efforts to rewrite what the public has seen and heard. Suddenly, individuals previously implicated are being recast as victims or scapegoats. The same tactics of confusion, contradiction, and spin are being deployed to dull public outrage. It's the oldest strategy in politics. If you can't erase the truth, drown it in noise. In moments like this, South Africans have to keep their eyes open. As Bob Marley once said, "Don't let them fool you. Don't let them school you. You have a mind of your own." In the coming weeks, as the investigations continue and new revelations emerge, that advice may be more important than ever. What happens next, whether it's an arrest, a leak, or another shocking twist, will reveal whether this country is witnessing random misfortune or a well-coordinated effort to protect power. The truth will surface, but only if we keep watching closely, refusing to be distracted by the spectacle designed to blind us. If you enjoyed this video and want to stay updated with more content like this, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Your support helps us grow and create even more exciting videos for you. Thanks for watching.